in the last 1 year, and down 7.5% in the last 6 months. So, Chokalingam, are you bullish on Interglow for the long term?
Certainly, yes. All of us know that Indigo is a leader in the aviation industry. And secondly, the long-term triggers for airline business remains intact. There is no doubt at all. The air traffic is growing substantially. And Indigo is maintaining its leadership and market share also quite intact. The only concern in the short term is that the crude oil prices, because ATF, aviation turbine fuel price, highly correlated with the crude oil, as it is a derivative of crude oil. What has happened till recently, the oil was down 20% from 52-week high. Now, after severe sanctions on Russian oil industry by the US, the oil price started moving up. Now it is more than 15% up from the 52-week low, which is a cause of concern for airline industry in the short term. But however, as a student of economics, I can say that if most efficient leader cannot survive, no one else can survive. That means ultimately, the pricing would improve and these companies would come back with much better profit. So therefore, it's a long-term buy.
It's a long-term buy. Okay, so that's a buy call coming in on Interglobe Aviation for long-term. Now with that, we have our first caller on the show from Kerala. Hi Sachin, how can we help you?
Yeah, hi. So my query is regarding Wipro.
Right.
I hold 200 shares at an average price of 227.
Right.
So my query is if I should book my profit or should I stay invested? I can hold for another 2 years.
Okay, because I can see that you're sitting on a profit of almost 11,000 there, and you are willing to hold it for another 2 years.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, one more query. I also would like to know if the current levels is a good price to buy Kalyan Jewelers.
I'm sorry, Sachin, we would just be able to take one query at a time. We'll cater to that query in our next show. You can probably call us again and we can take up your query then. But for now, let's stick to Wipro. Chokalingam, on Wipro, what do you have to say for the long term? How does the picture look like?
Short term, it is a hold because all of us, we know that rupee is depreciating and FIs are selling. There is a possibility of more weakness in the rupee exchange rate. And so in the short term, it will be a good defensive. But for 2-year time frame, rather, I would recommend Cyient, because the whole industry, IT industry is growing in dollar term anywhere from 2 to 4% year on year. And the large caps are in line with the industry in most cases. So in next 2 years, that is not going to change. The wealth creation story in the large IT segment is over, in my view. But there can be a significant upside potential from mid-sized IT company, because last 10 years, if you look back, there were several acquisition and consolidation, because the industry itself is not growing very fast. So I believe that that consolidation acquisition would get momentum again. I am not forecasting that Cyient would be taken over, but what I am saying that any such possible event of further acquisition in the IT industry space, mid-sized stock like Cyient can get re-rated. And secondly, it has started a recently 100% subsidiary to do business in semiconductor. Already this company has proven its success in terms of unlocking value from its subsidiary Cyient DLM. So based on that experience, I believe Cyient would succeed in the case of semiconductor business as well. So I believe, I may be wrong, in 2 years' time, I believe Cyient can outperform Wipro by big margin.
Okay, so are you suggesting a sell on Wipro and buy on Cyient?
Yes, I would maintain sell call on Wipro and buy on Cyient.
Right, and Aditya, what's your take on the short term? How is Wipro looking on the charts?
Yeah, so Wipro did a good job by achieving its important level of 300 to 320, but that's the supply zone. From there, stock has corrected to 280 odd levels. Now, as the stock is making lower high, lower low patterns, I think there's lack of strength in the counter and selling pressure is visible at the higher levels. So I wouldn't be surprised if stock touches the lower level. So I believe one should be a seller over here right now, because in the near future, I see stock touching levels like 270 to 250 odd levels. So I believe the medium term targets of the stock has been achieved, and in the near future, I feel the stock may inch lower towards lower levels.
Okay, and do you have any suggestions there apart from Wipro?
I believe IT is experiencing selling across the board. There's selling in IT stocks. So IT sector remains sell on rise, and there would be opportunity to accumulate at the lower levels somewhere down the line, few months down the line. So right now it's a sell, it's an avoid.
Okay, so that's a sell for both fundamental and technical on Wipro. Now let's go across to one more caller from Bengaluru. Zenith is a very regular caller. Hi Zenith, good evening. How can we help you?
Good evening, everybody. And I'm looking to enter into Bharti Hexacom.
Okay.
And I'd like to know in coming week, what would be the apt level we should expect? And I see on November 28th, it went as low as 1285.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to hold for, let's say, 3 months.
Okay.
And I'd like to know on fundamental basis, why it's, we see as a downward trend.
Right.
Any specific reason for that? That
right.
would be all.
So, Aditya, I'd come to you on this first. How is Bharti Hexacom faring on the charts? Because our caller Zenith is looking for a 3 months view.
Sure. Good evening to Zenith, who's regular viewer and caller on NDTV Profit. So I believe the stock is experiencing good selling pressure at 1550 to 1600. Stock almost made 4 attempts to cross 1600 odd levels, but sellers were having more power and dominance at the higher levels, and selling pressure is clearly visible. So I believe the stock went up, but the sellers came in action, and now it's almost testing its swing lows of 1285. I think that could also be broken because even in good market, the stock is failing to cross higher levels. So I believe somewhere down the line, you may get opportunity to accumulate at the lower levels like 1200 to 1150. So right now it's an avoid, it's a sell, as the stock is failing to cross its important resistance level, and it's also testing its swing lows. So it clearly shows the weakness.
Right, and for the long term, Mr. Chokalingam, what do you have to say on it?
See, long-term prospects are good for telecom industry because there is a consolidation. There are only 3 players who are able to survive and grow and make profits. Bharti Hexacom is one of them. However, the viewer was asking why it was going down. See, if you look at the trailing earnings, it is trading close to around 80-90 PE. Now, traditional intelligence investors say that, if you are giving 100 PE, the profit should grow at least 100%. That is a PEG ratio of 1. But in Indian market, I would compromise. I would say that at least, if PE is around 100, the profit should grow at least around 50%. That is not the case with the Bharti Hexacom. It's a great company, good company. Is it a good valuation? Certainly no. So yes, for long term, you can hold it as a defensive stock. But are you going to make a lot of wealth in it? No, because it's, the valuations are already fairly quite high, and it's a good to hold from defensive perspective. For long term, but otherwise in the short to medium term, the stock can correct, anywhere close to 1000 to 1100 purely based on the fundamental valuation.
That's a sell for the short term, medium term on Bharti Hexacom. That's what our experts are suggesting. Now let's go across to one more caller from Kolkata. Hi Pranak, how can we help you?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Please go ahead with your query.
Ma'am, I have bought Tanla Platform.
Right.
At the price of 650.
Yes.
And 50 numbers of shares.
Right.
So, can I hold it for 1 year?
Okay, and I think that you recently purchased it, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but why Tanla Platforms, if I may ask?
Because I saw that the Tanla Platform,
yes,
Tanla Platform fall from his all-time high. That's why I have bought it.
Okay, so I think you've done your bit of research there, but Mr. Chokalingam, if you could take this one, how are the fundamentals of Tanla Platforms looking like for the longer term?
If I am permitted, I would like to suggest to this viewer that he saw the stock price coming down, so he bought. And my humble suggestion that that is not the right way. Yes, we also see when stock corrects substantially, we look at them, but that is only a starting point. You have to see the valuation, business model, management quality, balance sheet quality. Then only you should, take a decision. Now, coming back straight to Tanla platform, basically, I am a little nervous to invest in such stocks personally because, if you look at, if you decompose the expenditures, the purchase of, services is almost 70% of the quarterly revenue, and employee cost is very low. So normal, I mean, I may be absolutely wrong, but the way I have been looking at IT stocks in the last 20 years, with the common sense approach, if employee cost is, less than 5-10% of the revenue, and if there is a lot of purchase of traded services, I am little nervous. I don't understand that kind of business model, so I never invest in such stocks.
So that's a sell on Tanla platform. That's a view coming in. Now we're getting one more caller from Cochin. Hi, Alex. Good evening. How can we help you?
Hi, this is Alex from Cochin.
Yes, please go ahead with your query.
I want to ask a query about Kajaria Ceramics.
Yes.
This company is world's 8th largest tile company and India's largest tile company.
Yes.
Is it a right time to invest in this stock because it is in 4 years low price? Will it go further down, or it I have to wait for this one budget?
Yeah. So are you looking for a longer term?
Yeah, I am looking for a longer time, more than 3 to 4 years.
Okay, so we're getting a lot of fundamental queries today. So, Mr. Chokalingam, again to you, how are the fundamentals of Kajaria Ceramics looking like? Because currently the stock is trading at 1,055. So, are these the correct levels to enter?
No, he is absolutely right. It's a great company, no doubt about it. But investors always should see. Whether first of all it's a good company. Yes, Kajaria Ceramics is a good company. I would even say that it's a great company. Then the second question one should ask is whether it's a good valuation. So that's a problem. And it is trading at roughly around 40p on trailing earning, which is highly stretched for the kind of profit growth it is showing. So I would recommend a buy call in case the stock falls at least another 10-15%. Till then, I would wait to give any buy call.
Okay, so that's the view coming in by our expert. Now with that, let's move across to one more caller from Chennai. Hi Munir, good evening. Thanks for speaking to NDTV Profit. How can we help you?
Hello, good evening, madam. Yeah, I just want to know the view of Tata Motors. Is it the right time to accumulate the stock? And also, I just want to know the outlook for the automobile sector in this year, particularly 2025, and how the results will be in the sector, and
Yes.
etc.
Okay, and are you looking for a short-term view or a long-term view?
Yeah, short-term view for Tata Motors, as well as I just want to see the right time to accumulate the stock.
Okay.
Because the stock currently went up to some points, I think so. It went up.
Yeah.
Is it still the attractive? I just want to know this.
Right. Aditya, so finally, one short-term query is there for you. Please take it away.
Sure. So I think Tata Motors is recently doing well, but mostly what it's doing is consolidation within a narrow range. But if you compare 3 to 6 months charts of all the automobile companies, then they have shown decent bit of correction. And even when the market is a little cheerful, these stocks fail to participate. So that shows selling pressure is evident at the higher levels. That is point one. And even if you hear the fundamental news, there's a lot of inventory pile up, discounts are going on. There's no great demand. Management is not positive. They are not beating the expectation. In fact, the numbers are coming below expectation. And technically also stock is making lower high, lower low pattern. So this is not the right time to accumulate the counter. I feel he will get an opportunity to accumulate the stock at 650 to 600 odd levels, which is the important medium-term support for the stock. So right now, I would say avoid, don't get into the stock at these levels, because there's a probability that this may correct towards three levels: 700, 650, and 600. 600 is the medium-term support level. So there, the risk reward is much better.
Right. So with that, I think your query has been answered there. Now let's go across to one more caller from Mumbai. Hi, Sanjeev. How can we help you?
Good evening.
Good evening. Please go ahead with your query.
Good evening. I had been allotted Bajaj Housing Finance 214 shares at the rate of 70 rupees per share.
Right.
In an IPO.
Yeah.
And then I bought on 19 September another 400 shares at 160 rupees 95 paisa per share.
Okay.
So I am at a loss of 10,000 rupees.
Yeah.
Offsetting the gain on a IPO price.
Yeah.
So I hold about 614 shares.
So you bought at 70, but you added 400 at 161.
161 rupees.
Yeah. So are you looking for a short-term view on it?
On a long-term view.
Long-term view. So Mr.
I can hold it for another 6 to 1 year.
Okay, 6 months to 1 year. Mr. Chokalingam, how are the fundamentals of Bajaj Housing looking to you?
As I said, this is also a great company, great management, great group. My view is that at least already 1 year or 2 years down the line, the market has already discounted its performance, because at the current price it trades a little more than 5 times price to book value, according to me, which is highly stretched one. Yes, if somebody is willing to hold for 3 to 5 years, yes, it may give some reward from this price, but what it deserves 1 year, 2 years down the line, already in price. So I would give a sell, somewhere around 120, 125 level.
Okay, so that's a sell coming in on Bajaj Housing. With that, let's go across to one more caller who's calling from Delhi. Hi, Ruchika.
Yes, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. So how's the weather there in Delhi?
Yeah, it's cold. It would be getting colder till Sunday.
Absolutely. I missed Delhi winter. Okay, so please go ahead with your query there.
Yes. So, ma'am, currently I'm holding ITC shares, 100 quantity at the price of 202.
Okay.
So, in 3 to 4 years I've been holding this.
Yeah.
It was portfolio stock. So, I just wanted to know, whether should I, keep on holding the stock, or should I book the profit at this level?
Yeah, because firstly, congratulations to you, sitting on a profit of almost 24,000 there. So, again, a long-term query. Aditya, please... don't mind, we'll come to you as well also. Mr. Chokalingam, ITC, what's your outlook on ITC for the longer term? Should our investor book her profits, or should she stay invested?
No, we maintain a buy call. At least a little more than 500 is very much possible. And moreover, at current juncture, it is good to hold such a defensive stock for 2 reasons. We have been seeing a meltdown in the Sensex and Nifty as FIs are selling, and therefore ITC has a track record of being a defensive whenever there is a big selling by FIIs in the market. And secondly, your cigarette business is going to be a cash cow, and in absolute amount, the profit contribution from cigarette would remain intact. And also the company is making a lot of efforts in the agri segment to improve. And lastly, this is my personal view that, ITC also has a subsidiary in catering to IT services, which is doing very well. So in the long term, the way they rewarded the investors with ITC hotel stock through unlocking, it is quite possible in a rare way that the management may decide to unlock value from IT services as well in the interest of the shareholder. Even otherwise, at a consolidated level, that would keep contributing a very good profit. So therefore, I would maintain a buy call with a little more than 500 rupee target.
Okay, so Ruchika, I hope your query has been answered there. With that, let's go across to one more caller who's calling from Hyderabad. Hi, Venkat.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Please go ahead with your query.
I bought Suzlon.
Yes.
2,000 shares.
Right.
At the rate of 65 rupees. I want to continue with for 1 year.
Yeah.
Can I add more at this rate?
Yeah.
I want to know the fundamentals.
Okay, because I
What
can
is
see
the
that you're
target
sitting
of
on a loss of almost 16,500 there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so on Suzlon, in fact, I'd like to get both the technical and fundamental view on it. Starting with you, Aditya, how is Suzlon faring on the charts?
Sure. So Suzlon had a great run. Like, and if you compare multi-month chart of Suzlon, then stock almost ran from 7 odd levels to 80. Now, after a stellar run, stock needs to cool off little bit. Hence, we have seen continuous correction from 80 odd levels, and now the stock is also trading below its 200-day moving average. Hence, there is weakness in the short term, and for the same reason, stock could test its lower levels like 50 odd levels to 45. So I believe in the short run, there's lack of demand and lack of strength from the buyer's side. Hence, the stock could test lower levels. So it would remain a sell on rise candidate for me.
Okay, so that's a sell call on Suzlon for the short term. And Mr. Chokalingam, because Venkat had a query for the long term, what do you have to suggest?
I would maintain sell call because it is trading at more than 60 PE on trailing earning basis. Secondly, the entire renewable energy space is getting crowded. There are a lot of large, big players. Industrial houses also got into new energy, green energy. It's going to be quite tough. The kind of competition which we are seeing in this renewable energy space is unprecedented. So therefore, I would not value at this juncture company like Suzlon at 160 PE. So I would give a sell call.
Okay, so that's a sell on Suzlon for both technical and fundamental. And with that, we'll have to slip into a short break, viewers. Keep sending in your queries on WhatsApp and call in. We'll be right back for Ask Profit. Stay tuned to NDTV Profit.
This January, the world will come together at the World Economic Forum at Davos to bridge differences because the stakes have never been higher. Collaboration in an intelligent age. In a Trump 2.0 and Modi 3.0 era, this becomes the primary agenda. And the tallest leaders in the business and political world will try and get answers to the most pressing questions. How do we fix a fractured global economy? How do we combat climate change and create a future of opportunity for all? And how does India navigate the opportunities and challenges of 2025? Join me, Neeraj Shah, as we bring all the action from the World Economic Forum for the month of January to your homes, only on NDTV Profit.
I present the budget for a historic
It's nearly time for Budget 2025, and what that means is that there are a lot of proposals that are coming through to the Finance Minister, and among them, there are proposals from the mutual fund industry as well. I'll talk about three key changes that they are suggesting. One is a rollback in the tax rates that was announced last year. Of course, last year, the capital gains tax, long-term and short-term, was increased to 12.5% and 20% respectively. The mutual fund industry is saying a rollback to the previous rates would be beneficial because it would incentivize more investors to come through and invest, and those people that have come into the investment fold, into the mutual fund industry over the past couple of years, will be rewarded for their patience and for their investments. The second proposal has to do with the tax treatment on debt mutual funds. Currently, all capital gains emerging from debt mutual funds are taxed at slab rate, and what that means is that depending on which income slab you fall in, if you're in the highest tax slab and you're paying 30% on the income above a certain threshold, your gains from debt mutual funds are also taxed at 30%. That wasn't always the case. Long-term capital gains came into effect after a period of 3 years, and they were taxed at 20% with indexation benefits. Of course, that doesn't remain the case anymore. So the mutual fund industry is asking for a rollback to the previous tax treatment because they say that the debt market in India is growing, is emerging, and it needs to be incentivized. The third change that they're suggesting has to do with the income distribution schemes. Of course, there are two types of schemes in mutual funds. One is the growth scheme, where all gains are reinvested by the fund manager. And in the second case, which is the dividend distribution scheme as it used to be called, the income is distributed on an ongoing basis to unit holders. Now, the thing is, income above 5,000 rupees that is distributed in this manner will have to have tax deducted at source, or TDS, as things stand right now. And the mutual fund industry is suggesting that this threshold be raised to 50,000 rupees, and they expect that this will benefit a lot of people because they won't then
Welcome back. You're watching Ask Profit on NDTV Profit. We are joined by G. Chokalingam on the fundamentals and Aditya Arora on the technicals. Viewers, this is your chance to get all your stock-related queries answered. So please pick up your phones and call us right away. The numbers are flashing on your screens right now. Now, with that, let's go across to a caller who's calling from, again, New Delhi. Hi, Raman. Hi, how can we help you?
Hello. Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Please go ahead with your query.
Ma'am, actually, I'm having a share of India Bull Real Estate, 2000 share at a price of 140.
Okay.
The company recently changed its name to Equinox India Limited.
Yes.
So I just want to know what's the prospects on this stock.
And when did you buy it?
I bought it around 4 to 5 months back.
Okay, because you are sitting on a profit there of almost 5,000. You're looking for a longer term view?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So, Mr. Chokalingam, how are the fundamentals of Equinox India developments looking to you?
I am sorry, I never tracked this company. So
Okay.
I'm not able to give you.
All right. Aditya, if you could take that one, please.
Sure. So actually, real estate players are experiencing a lot of selling recently. They did well in 2022 and 23. But recently, if you see, a lot of real estate players are correcting from the higher levels, and the management is also not confident that 2025 could be as good as 2024. So management is not positive, and chart-wise also stocks have reached the resistance zones, and from there, selling is evident. Same is true for Equinox. One should wait and watch little bit because, and one should actually book profit also. Look to book profit also because Equinox has reached its resistance of 160, 150 odd levels. Usually, stock faces a lot of hurdle and resistance in zones of 150 to 170. So I don't see a runaway rally from here, but opportunity to take chips off the table at the higher levels.
Right. So book your profits there. That's the view coming in on Equinox. Now, with that, we have a caller from Hyderabad. Hi, Lakshmikant. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Please go ahead with your query.
So I bought Talbros Auto.
Okay.
Quantity is 352 and average is 337.
Right.
So my view is for another 4 to 5 months.
Okay.
So
Because you are incurring a loss of 16,000 there. as I can see.
Yeah.
The stock was also up 1.21% today, and it's currently trading at 292 levels. So Aditya, how do you see Talbros Auto faring on the charts?
Sure, the stock is actually trading below its 200-day moving average, which suggests that sellers are more dominant than the buyers. And it's also testing its important support levels, and there isn't great recovery from the support levels. Hence, I believe there could be some persistent underperformance over here, so it remains sell on rise candidate.
Okay, so that's a sell on Talbros Auto there. We have a caller from Bengaluru. Hi, Kedarnath. How can we help you? Kedarnath, am I audible? I think we've lost the line there, but we have his query. He's bought 5,500 shares of Hathway Cable and Datacom at 19.16, and he's asking whether he should hold the sell. And currently, I can see that he's sitting on a loss of almost 2.24 lakh rupees there. So, Aditya, I would come straight to you on this. How is Hathway Cable and Datacom faring on the charts?
Sure. So if you look at the chart of Hathway, then since 2011, stock hasn't given any return. So even in 2011, the stock was trading at 16 odd levels, and today also it's trading at 15 odd levels. So there isn't a lot of fundamental strength in the counter. It's trading below its important moving average, and they're clearly selling visible at the higher levels. So this becomes a risky candidate if market starts correcting. It could slide further and test its 52-week low or lifetime low of 10 odd levels. So this is a penny stock, which is high beta counter, and the trend is little negative as per the charts because it's making a lower trend. So this remains a classic sell on rise candidate. So I would suggest the viewer to save his capital and invest elsewhere where he could recover his losses. But this remains little risky candidates as per the current technical setup.
Right, so that's a sell on Hathway Cable and Datacom. With that, let's go across to one more caller from Hyderabad. Hi, Rajita.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah.
Thanks for speaking to NDTV Profit. How can we help you?
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, I'm planning to enter Bharat Electronics at this time.
Okay.
Is it the right time to enter? And also, we have budget till February 1st week, right?
Yes.
So, is that correct time to enter at this time? Yeah.
Okay, because currently the stock is trading at 282. Are you looking for a longer term view?
No, short term.
Short term.
In 6 months to 1 year.
Okay,
Yeah.
6 months to 1 year. Aditya, is it the right time to enter Bharat Electronics, BEL?
I think not a great time to enter BEL because a lot of PSU stocks have corrected quite a bit, and the index itself has corrected 20 odd % from the top. That gives some valuation comfort, but still, if we go from the technical textbook rules, then I think the stock is showing weakness, the index is showing weakness, and it's also trading below its important moving average. That could suggest that there could be some selling pressure evident in the near term. Hence, I believe this is not the right time to accumulate. There's a possibility that stock could test its important support, which is placed at 250 odd levels to 220 odd levels. So I think there the risk reward is much better compared to the current price, where I believe the stock is in little resistance zone. It's actually flirting with the resistance zone. So that isn't a great time to buy, and this reward is not favorable.
Okay, with that, I hope, Rajita, your query has been answered. Now we're getting a caller from Pune. Hi, Praveen. How can we help you?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
I have a small two queries. Can I go for Canara Bank right now, since the results of all the private sector banks are not good?
Right.
And what is the future for RailTel Corporation?
Okay, I'm afraid that we'll only be able to take one query.
Okay.
So your query was Canara Bank. Is it the right time to
Canara
enter?
Bank or PSU Bank? I would like
Okay.
to go for a lakh rupees investment.
Yeah.
But just waited for the result calendar for private sector.
Okay.
So in that case, it's the right time to go for Canara Bank or some other PSU.
Okay, and we're also getting one more caller, so we'll take both the callers at the same time. Ravi is calling in from Hyderabad. Hi Ravi, how can we help you?
Yeah, hi, good evening.
Good evening, please go ahead with your query.
Yeah, actually, I want to buy SBI new shares.
Okay.
So is it a good time to buy? I mean, at what price it's good to enter?
Yeah.
And
So
I'm looking for 6 to 8 months.
okay, so more or less both the queries are very much similar. Aditya, coming straight to you, what do you suggest? A Canara Bank or some PSU bank like SBI? What our investors should enter if they want to enter?
Sure. So PSU Bank Index, Nifty PSU Bank Index made an high of 8,070, and from there the index has corrected to 6,200. So I believe there isn't much strength, and the index itself is trading below its moving average. So it will face a lot of resistance in making new highs. And SBI isn't a buy for me, like it remains a sell on rise candidate. And second, Can Bank is also a sell on rise candidate. So I would suggest to wait for a while, because I believe in both the stocks, our viewers could get lower levels to accumulate. So right now it's in a void.
Okay, and for the longer term, what is your suggestion, Mr. Chokalingam?
Well, certainly the public sector banks are good to invest for medium to long term. One reason is that the prices have already corrected enormously. The second reason, the quality of assets still remain closer to 10-year record high level for banks like Canara Bank, SBI. Mostly for all these banks put together, quality of asset is still close to 10-year record high level. And, little pain in terms of slowdown and credit growth is already priced in. So therefore, Canara Bank, SBI are good to invest for medium to long term. But within the public sector bank, my best pick is Bank of Maharashtra. The quality of asset is the best in the banking industry, not only compared to other PSU banks, even compared with banks like HDFC, ICICI, its asset quality is excellent. And the stock also corrected a lot. And therefore, I would strongly recommend Bank of Maharashtra.
Okay, so that's a buy on Bank of Maharashtra for the longer term. With that, we have a caller from Bhopal. Hi, Aman. How can we help you?
Yeah, hi. I hope you guys are doing well. So my query is for the Jio Financial Services. I want to have a short-term and a long-term review of that.
Okay.
Also, the quarter three results have been just announced, so
Yes.
the revenue is like the net profit is just flat. I
Yes.
just want to have a short-term view regarding it, like what will happen in the next week and what can we expect from Jio Financial Services.
Yeah, because I can see that you're sitting on a loss of almost 23,000 there. So, Aditya, coming straight to you, how are the fund? How is Jio Financial looking on the charts?
Sure. I think next week is very unpredictable. The reason for the same is Donald Trump is going to come into power and he's going to announce a lot of policies.
Yeah.
So that could really give a lot of volatility, like 2 to 5% on the index level could be expected in the next week or next coming weeks. So on that front, it remains completely unpredictable. If we have to talk on the technical basis as of the current structure, then I believe the structure is little weak in Jio Finance. So it remains a sell on rise candidate.
Okay, so that's a sell on Jio Financial. Now we're getting a caller from Chennai. Hi, Nagraj. How can we help you?
Hi, madam. Good evening.
Good evening.
Actually, good evening. I bought a Sky Gold, madam.
Mm-hmm.
Number of shares 50.
Okay.
At a rate of 428 that price.
Right.
Okay, madam. Can I buy or sell, madam?
But you're looking for a longer term view or a short term view?
Time frame is 6 months to 1 year, ma'am.
6 months to 1 year. So, Mr. Chokalingam, coming straight to you on this, how are the fundamentals of Sky Gold looking like?
I've not heard of this company. I need to study in detail.
Oh, okay. Aditya, if you could answer that.
Sure. I think the stock had a stellar run from 36 odd levels to almost 470 odd levels. The stock has almost gone 10x. Now the stock is taking some time to consolidate or digest such stellar gains, and it has experienced almost 4 weeks of selling. So I believe in the near term the stock is experiencing selling, and in the medium term also I feel it has reached its important resistance level of 500. So from here, I don't expect outperformance to continue, but there could be some selling pressure evident as the market structure right now is little weak, and we are seeing selling on the index level as well. Hence, market could create pressure on mid caps and small caps. Hence, my view remains sell on rise.
Okay, so that's a sell on Sky Gold for short term. Now, let's go across to one more caller from Pune. Hi, Sunil. Good evening.
Yeah. Hi, ma'am. Good evening.
Please go ahead with your query. Yeah.
Yeah. Good evening to all of you. My question is, I have a Zomato share at the rate of 285.
Okay.
And I tried to sell it, but it is right now at 248 or somewhere below 248.
Yes.
So what should I do? And if you can suggest whether I need to.
Yeah, although the stock was up almost over 2% today, but Aditya, we keep on getting queries on Swiggy and Zomato on a very day-to-day basis. I think you also have answered it many times, but again, our viewer has a query. He's bought 15 shares at 285. Now he's looking for a short-term view. Currently, I think he's incurring a loss there. So what do you have to say to him?
Right. So these food tech companies are very properly correlated with NASDAQ and what happens in global market, because NASDAQ is all about technology companies. I believe all the technology stocks in USA have reached their short to medium term target, and now they look little dicey and shaky. They're on a shaky ground, and we are experiencing some selling pressure in international markets also. If there's further weakness in international tech index NASDAQ, then I feel selling could be visible even in Zomato. And coming on the chart front, the stock has reached its important resistance zone of 300, 290, 300 levels, and a lot of call writers are putting pressure on this counter. If you observe the option chain, then there are a lot of call writers at 280, 290 odd levels. So and stock also made an attempt to break 300 odd levels, but it failed. So sellers are now dominating the trend. I feel one should avoid Zomato at elevated levels of 248. There's a chance that stock could correct and test its important support levels of 220 to 200 odd levels. So it remains sell on rise as of now. Investor may get opportunity to accumulate at the lower levels. In the medium term, I feel it has scope to even test 190 to 170 odd levels. So right now the stock remains sell on rise.
Okay, so that's a sell on Zomato at the current levels, but you can accumulate when the stock price is trading at almost 200 to 220. That's the view coming in by Aditya. With that, we have a caller from Hyderabad. Hi, Amit. How can we help you?
Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening.
My question is between Mazgaon Dock and HAL.
Yeah.
Which is a better bet?
Okay.
I'm holding both the stocks, and which I can add more.
Okay, and how many shares are you holding of each?
Ma'am, Mazgaon Dock, I bought it at a very low level, 208 shares at the rate of 86.
Okay.
And HAL, I got 30 shares at the rate 1400.
All right. So you want to add more, and are these the current levels to add more to Mazgaon and Hindustan Aero Limited? Mr. Chokalingam, if you could take that one, what suggestion do you have?
Between these two, HAL is better, considering the orders it has procured and it is likely to procure. So I would prefer HAL to Mazgaon Dock.
Okay, so HAL over Mazgaon for long term and Aditya for short term?
I believe both the stocks, like HAL has tested its swing And Masdog is doing well, but I maintain sell on rise on these counters because valuations have become very stretched in last 4 years. First of all, I would also like to congratulate our viewer who bought Masdog at 86 and now it has shot up to 2,300. So congratulations on his successful investment. But overall, I feel that the valuations are stretched. So there's scope for time correction and price correction over here. And if market corrects further, then the sectors which have run up quite a bit could correct more. So I feel it's a sell on rise candidate. It's good time to take chips off the table.
All right. With that, let's go across to one more caller from Kolkata. Hi, Samaprita.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Please go ahead with your query.
Okay, I have 200 shares of VMM.
Okay.
That is
Vishal Mega Mart.
Vishal.
Yes.
Yes. And as I have said, I have 200 shares. So I wish to know the future of the shares.
Yeah.
And yes. And what are the
and for how
next,
long are you willing to hold?
Well, I'd like to hold for a long time, so that will be around 5-6 years.
5-6 years horizon. All right, Mr. Chokalingam, how are the fundamentals of Vishal Mega Mart looking like? Is it advisable to stay invested for that long?
One can invest for long term, but probably if the stock corrects at least 10-15%, then it will become a buy call for long term. Valuation is at current price.
So it's a hold on current price?
Sell. On rise, one can sell.
Okay. No, but she wants a long-term view. She's already bought it. She's asking whether she should hold the counter for long-term.
Yeah, one can hold it till say around 115 and then one can sell it.
All right. So with that, I hope, Samprita, your query was answered. Let's go across to one more caller from Tripura, Northeast. First caller from Northeast. That's very nice. Hi, Abhishek.
Hello.
Good evening. How can we help you?
I was looking at Trident.
Okay.
What should be my target price?
All right. I think there's some issue in the line, but I have his query. He's bought 130 shares of Trident at 28 apiece. He's looking for a long-term view. Mr. Chokalingam, how is Trident? According to you, how will the stock perform in the near future?
It's a sell. Valuation is stretched at current price.
Okay. So that's a sell on Trident. With that, let's go across to one more caller from New Delhi. Hi, Chandan. How can we help you?
Hi, good evening, ma'am. How are you?
Good evening. I'm good. Please go ahead with your query.
My query is regarding Motilal Oswal Financial Services Limited.
Right.
Actually, right now I'm not having any position in this stock, but considering around 20% correction during the last 1 month, and considering the fact that this is very good company with very good quarter result every time.
Yes.
So is it right time to enter in this stock considering recent correction of 20%?
Okay. And are you planning to hold it for a longer term?
6 months, around 6 months.
Around 6 months.
Maybe even longer.
All right. Mr. Chokalingam, Motilal Oswal, how are the fundamentals of the company looking like?
Great company. They achieved, amazing performance. However, I have a little negative view on the capital market, till budget presentation. Probably even in March, till mid of March, market may be weak, and that would be negative for all capital market intermediaries. So investor probably can wait till first week of March before investing in Motilal Oswal for long term.
All right. And Aditya, what do you have to say on the short term for Motilal Oswal? Are these the correct levels to enter for 6 to 1 month?
I'm not tracking this stock very closely, but I feel that all the broking stocks could experience selling because there's a lot of pressure in mid caps and small caps, and that hurts the revenue of a lot of broking companies. So overall, I feel that all the broking companies have little bearish structure, and hence it's a little risky to get into broking companies right now. So in general, I have a sell call on all the broking companies.
Okay, so that's a sell call from Aditya, and with that I'm afraid that we are running out of time, but thank you Mr. Chokalingam and Aditya for being on the show and helping our viewers with their queries.
Thank you.
And viewers, that's all the time we had on this edition of Ask Profit. We always try our best to take as many queries as possible, but the queries that got missed will be addressed on Monday. So keep watching Ask Profit on NDTV Profit. There's more lined up for you.
Trump 2.0, a presidency that promises to reshape America and the world once again. What does a second Trump term mean for world trade? Does it mean tougher tariffs, new alliances? And what's in store for India amidst shifting geopolitics? From tariffs to treaties, from Wall Street to Main Street. Stay with us for unparalleled coverage on Trump 2.0, the world reimagined.
With Budget 2025 right around the corner, there is one question on everyone's mind. Will this finally be the year salaried individuals get some much needed income tax relief? Let's dive into the story behind the tax slabs, the rising cost of living, and why economists are calling for reforms. First things first, Budget Day is set for 1st February 2025. Expectations are sky high, especially among salaried individuals. But before we talk about predictions, let's rewind a bit. The first big moment for taxpayers was back in the Union Budget for FY 2020-21. That's when the government introduced an optional personal income tax regime with lower tax rates but fewer deductions. Remember that? It shook things up for taxpayers who had to choose between the old system with deductions or the new simplified one. Fast forward to 2023 budget, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman made some tweaks to the new tax regime, expanding 2 income tax slabs and increasing the standard deduction from 50,000 to 75,000. Sounds promising, right? But here's the thing. It didn't touch the old regime at all. So what exactly is standard deduction and why does it matter so much? Think of it as a fixed amount you can subtract from your taxable salary. It's meant to help with everyday work-related expenses. While it's been raised over the years, the question is it enough to combat the rising costs we're all facing today? Did you know the standard deduction was actually scrapped back in 2005, but it made a comeback in 2018 at 40,000, and since then it has been climbing steadily. Now economists have a big ask for Budget 2025. Cut income tax rates. Why? Lower taxes means more disposable income in your pocket. That extra cash could boost savings, increase spending on essentials, and even revive demand in sectors hit by sluggish consumption. Sounds like a win-win, right? In fact, during a recent pre-budget meeting, experts suggested exactly this to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, arguing that it's time to ease the financial burden on taxpayers while stimulating economic growth. As per an NDTV Profit exclusive, the upcoming union budget could bring significant income tax relief with potential modifications to the new tax regime. Sources suggest the government is considering adjusting personal income tax slabs and reducing tax rates for incomes up to Rs 10 lakh to boost disposable income. The new tax regime, which restricts exemptions and offers fewer deductions, is already the default option for taxpayers, with 72% having shifted to it. Notably, the July budget increased the standard deduction to 75,000 and revised both tax slabs and rates. Under the new structure, income up to 3 lakh is tax-free with progressive rates ranging from 5% to 30% for higher income tax brackets. As Budget 2025 nears, there are growing expectations for reforms aimed at easing tax compliance, particularly for NRIs, that is non-resident Indians. Here are the key suggestions highlighted by Deloitte. Firstly, simplifying the tedious process for property transactions involving NRIs. Currently, buyers must withhold tax at a higher rate, obtain a TAN and file ETDS returns. Introducing a challan statement system similar to residential transactions could streamline the process and reduce the burden on buyers. Second, enabling tax payments from overseas bank accounts. Presently, tax payments must be made through Indian banks, making it cumbersome for NRIs. Allowing payments from foreign accounts would enhance convenience. Third, improving e-verification by extending OTP options to foreign mobile numbers. This change would simplify tax filing for NRIs, reducing paperwork